So this is Pearls of Wisdom Project yet again. We have now two new interviewees, and we're going to first ask them, can you please talk a little bit about yourselves, your name, your surname, and so on, and also how did you meet?
Okay, my name is Catherine Assaparin. So I met John at university. So I had never met a Mauritian before. So we were at the same chemistry bench. So that's how we met.
Yeah, I saw her one afternoon walking through the quadrangle, and I saw her from the back, and I thought, oh my God, who is this girl? And I realized it was her, and I thought, oh, and then my life turned back upside down, and forever I had to be in her presence. I had to be always seeking her company.
Wow, what a place, a quadrangle, huh?
Yeah. In the chemistry lab.
And near the chemistry lab.
Yeah.
So that's how we met.
Thank you. So, in both of your opinions, how does marriage specifically signify God's love for the church?
Well, I saw that if you love someone, it's in the presence of God, it's the right thing to do, it's under the blessing of the church that you want to get the union, to be together as husband and wife.
And you have to be together, and like Kathy said, under the guidance and the umbrella of the church. And we follow the rites, we follow the marriage ceremony, and we baptize our children. That way we bring the next generation into the church as well, and so the generations can continue the role of the church as well.
For me, I don't know, it's bound, but I couldn't love someone and not be married into the church.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the question there.
And she couldn't have married someone who didn't go to church either, I think.
Yeah.
I think
You
that's all.
have
You have to share the values. Like if I was like not going to church or was against church or something, I don't think we would be married.
It wouldn't have worked, yeah.
Yeah, but is marriage a good thing? So when God lets us marry, would that be necessarily a signifying factor on why God loves the church? Do you think because marriage is good?
I see it as like, for us to be married, it's like a sign that He supports and guides and puts you on the path, like that He has given you a partner for life, and that your task is to nurture that partnership in the guidance of the church.
Yeah, very good. So also, we now have a question because of occupations. According to your professional experience in pharmacy, what is the common pains people are trying to avoid, both the physical and emotional ones? Why are they trying to avoid them? And with their pharmaceuticals?
And a lot of time, pain's defined in different ways, but I suppose an emotional pain which can lead to depression or other effects or psychological issues or psychotic, people do not want to accept it. And they don't want to face reality, they don't want to accept what is wrong with them, so they avoid it. They actually sugar-coat it. They don't want to accept the symptoms, even though, say you've got a category of 10 that if there are questions, and they will fit in most of them, sometimes they lie about it. And you know that's what it is, and it's till they reach a point, and that's why there's a lot of problems in our life, because they don't accept what it is and what they are. That's the emotional side. The physical disabilities, I think no one wants to accept that they do have a lot of issues, like, no, I don't have high blood pressure, no, I was just upset. That's why my blood pressure went up. I don't have a physical issue.
On the other hand, a lot of people make up stories so they can get medication too.
Yeah, that's a different thing. So they want to see themselves, I eat right, I live right, I don't eat fatty foods, so there's nothing wrong with me, so no, I'm fine. So again, not facing reality, but then you can get, like John says, the other way, where people are hypochondriacs and
they have drug-seeking behavior.
Yeah.
Okay. Are they trying to shield themselves from maybe a reality which they should be living through?
Definitely.
Yeah. So, in your opinion, with pharmaceuticals, apart from obviously the proper things they do and to help people, are there some cases where you might say maybe living through it and going through that adversity through your own will instead of through the pharmaceuticals is probably the best option?
Oh, that's difficult.
yeah, I know,
because
it's
that
a
is
bit
very
low.
difficult. It's something that
Yeah.
you've got to be very careful because we're not doctors.
Yeah.
And we can misdiagnose. Like there have been cases in pharmacy where John, I remember one of our employees had massive home issues with parents, ended up moving with the grandparents, and that seemed to work a lot better. But then the doctors put on very high antidepressants. So when she brought the prescription into the pharmacy, because we knew the young girl, I'm talking about 16-year-old.
She's little.
Yeah.
And John said to her, "Why are you taking this? No, you don't need it. You know? Really, you're young. Think about it. Okay, you move with your grandmother. She's so good to you. Give it." And really,
Give it a
on
try.
hindsight, that was bad because what happens if she was suicidal? You know.
Yeah.
He guided her through, and 2 or 3. She left. She got another job, and then she came back with such an amazing thank you letter and transformation.
She had transformed.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, she was not put on the drugs.
She was an emo before.
You know,
She
so,
turned out really
but
nice.
it is difficult. It is
Yeah.
a very, even doctors there, it's really like, you know,
So yeah, there's good and bad. There's a balance.
Yes.
it's bad
Yeah.
decisions like,
There's peer pressure, there's drug-seeking behavior, there's pressure of the pharmaceutical companies on the doctors to prescribe.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's a massive field.
Yeah.
Massive.
it's very
So
hard.
it makes sense. You know, you have your physical pains, you have your emotional pains, and sometimes you have
Both.
both. Yeah. So yeah, definitely, it's a balance.
Yeah, it's difficult.
So again, what role does faith specifically play in navigating challenges and adversity with your relationship? So obviously with your relationship, what did faith play in navigating adversity?
Well, in life experiences, a lot, you say in God's will, if God help me, I will get over this. It's not as bad. It's like
Guide us.
guidance,
And
and
we
also
always
like
ask.
you believe things will look easier. If you don't have any faith, you're on your own, basically. That's the way I
And
see it.
whenever
There's no
we always
stability.
reached a crossroad
Yeah.
and we had hard decisions to make,
Yeah.
we always ask, make it happen if it's for our benefit and
Yeah.
and
God
guide
help
us
and God
and
guide.
show us
Yeah.
the light, show us the way. If not, if there's an obstacle there, put an obstacle if it's meant to be.
So I'm going to ask you a bit of a question where you're going to have to do a bit of mental gymnastics to try and get into someone else's mind. But how do you think people view God nowadays? You know, maybe your youth, maybe the current state of the world, adversity in the world, if there's suffering. How do people view God now?
We need to draw a lot of people, open our arms a bit more than what we do.
Yeah.
As Greeks, we cater a lot for the Greek society. We should open up to everyone because I know our services are beautiful, our hymns are beautiful, the whole thing, I think Orthodoxy is beautiful, but we are very closed circle. In a sense, for example, even on a Sunday, I know we're not allowed by the church to put a screen up so all of us, the whole church can say their hymns together. Like Pagale Paraskevi, they're Gomia, they're amazing, right? People don't know. Like put them up, let people, like when you're streaming,
I find
we have
education.
subtitles, right? Why
Yeah.
can't we have it at church during the mass?
I take the candle because my mother told me. Why do I have to do this? It's become like rote behavior. It's like the behavior is why they come for. They don't come for the meaning,
Yeah.
right?
I think 80% do not understand.
They don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And I think, so coming from a Catholic background, I can tell you that their education in the Catholic schools and the education of Catholic kids, even though like it fails later, but you understand a lot more about the religion than you do with the Orthodox guys. So here, only now you've got like the youth group and so on, but when our children were small, like that wasn't there, you know, and it wasn't around. So if you look around the world, right, like their world was only this part was church, and the whole other world was very different. So there's always a chance for them.
I think we have to incorporate more English.
Yes.
Yeah, I was about to say, is there a language barrier?
For me,
Yes.
definitely. I
Definitely.
believe, like, see this church, we have a lot of churches now. It's not like 50 years ago. So my country, example, St. Stylianos, have once a month on a Sunday, not the other days, they don't work. Sunday, the whole liturgy in English. The next week can be Cobra. Once a month.
To give the
Rotate.
young people a chance to take part in the liturgy properly.
Promote maybe to follow the liturgy too, so they can understand it, because it's just such a shame.
Yeah.
And we can't be looking at now, and like not my generation obviously, not even my kids, but my grandkids. Will that continue?
Yes.
We need to put more English into it.
Because like you have to think of, now we're living in Australia and it's a mixed society. Like I'm not Greek, right? I don't have a Greek background at all, zero. So our children are only half Greek, our grandchildren are only 1/4 Greek. Even though they're still coming to this church, what is going to be the future if everything is just done in Greek? Because they're not Greek.
Right.
You know? They're not Greek. They might be Orthodox, but they're not Greek.
But there are a lot of Australians that would love to come.
Yes.
They don't understand it, so we're blocking people. I think we should be opening up, you know.
Exactly, it's right. The language is really a barrier. And if you had it like one day, one Saturday, one Sunday a month, and you said, since you know, not will be in English this Sunday, and you have to get through that oldies might complain.
Yeah.
We have to explain to them once a month this will be done in order to appeal to young people. I think that's a good.
Well, I think there's also even a barrier with Greek because it's done in Hine Greek.
Exactly.
So even then, it's an ancient form of Greek.
Exactly.
So yeah, I do think there's definitely language barriers. And do you think, going back to the question, do you think that would change also people's view of God because they don't understand it properly?
I think so. Like I said, I've met people that are my age, and they're considered some really good Orthodox Christians, but they say to me, I don't understand anything. I just go because it's a thing I have to do. They go to Greece every year, they're quite Greek, the Greek is very good, yet it's, you know. And I said, follow the on your phone. I've sent it to them. I said, follow, you can actually learn.
Yeah.
Oh, but how do I know where I am? I miss it. You know, I don't understand it.
Well, it's good that they at least do the creed and some of the very important parts in English, but making it for a whole service. Yeah. Well, you know, who knows? Maybe someone will watch this and say, well, maybe we could try that.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
Yeah.
Right. So, what role does forgiveness play in maintaining a healthy relationship? So, did you have to forgive each other for any arguments that have had? Anything like that?
Of course. Yeah, you have to. Because you love the person. No matter what, like, I'm not perfect, she's not perfect, we just, we have to.
Everything, your children, your parents, everything, you know, if you don't forgive.
Yeah.
And sometimes they might be, not being us, but other people might not, you think they might not forgive you, but you have to make sure that you've forgiven them, no matter what.
100%, it's just no question about it.
Yeah. Is it good conflict resolution to forgive? Is it good conflict resolution to forgive? Yeah.
We can't move forward, we can't have a life if we don't forgive someone. Then you're a very sad individual, you're going to have hatred in your heart. Really, I think if you don't forgive, you're going to hate.
Yeah.
And God, you know, we all know that. So, you know, you've got to have love in your heart, but to have love, you've got to forgive. And,
of course. Especially for very petty things. You know, that could cause a lot more animosity for no reason.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. I'd like to thank you both very much for taking part in this interview. We're going to here present you two different iconographies, one of Jesus and the other one is Jesus again, but with a prayer. So here you go. You can take your pick on which one. No worries.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
And we're going to ask you one more question so we can end this interview. What would be your one wish to the world so that we can get closer to God and maybe fix some of the problems we have?
Well, to get closer to God, obviously you have to love God. You have to have faith, but that will bring peace.
And also all the negative effects of like the movies, the Hollywood, all that in our society. They have a lot of negative impact, and people don't understand. It's sublime messages that are really taking people to the wrong side. That's going to be exposed.
Yeah, so exposing subliminal messaging. That's good. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Yes, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yes.